Hey, my name's Eric. I'm making a game. It's Sunday morning in Seattle. It's anyways. Okay, so the game, it's called the Godkiller. It's a puzzle game. It's an adventure game. You run around, you explore, you solve puzzles. Lots of puzzle solving. That's the main thing about it. You're solving puzzles, and a lot of them involve pushing around blocks, but these blocks, they don't work the same way as your typical Sokoban blocks. When you push them, they fling all the way across the room. You can never get them stuck, or if you do, you can just destroy them and they move to like a certain location, so they're easy to keep using to solve puzzles with. They have letters on the blocks, and when you spell certain words, doors will open or close. That's just the blocks. There's a whole bunch of other stuff in it too. There's creatures that attack you or run away from you or throw blocks at you, or anyways. And then there's a stepping mechanic where the whole world moves after you move, but instantly. So it's like the world's always paused, but as soon as you press a command, it comes back to life. And it basically moves at the same speed as your brain. So it gives everything a calm but responsive and action-like feeling to it. Okay, why would I just waste all those words explaining the game? I have to get into practice pitching the game, because I'll end up having to do it a lot. But I prefer to just show it. Prefer to show the game. And that is easily done. No COVID. So yesterday I did a few things. By the way, I always start these streams with a quick demo of recent progress, and then I get into some work. Okay, I did a few things yesterday. One is completely under the hood. It's that these bootable systems, all these things I call them subsystems, or you could also call them booters. They all get initialized when the game loads, and they stay in memory. They don't unload when different scenes are loaded in, or different levels. But there's an order that they have to be booted in, and although it was working fine on my machine, hey Fright, when I made a player build, which is the distributable build you can create and send so people can play it on their machines. When I made a player build, the order that these were loaded changed. So I wrote some code that made it so that each of these guys would be able to say, no, I need another one to load before I can load. That's dependency management, basically. So now, if Unity decides to change the order that those things get initialized, it doesn't matter to me, because each one of them will be able to say, I'm not ready to load yet. And their loading will get delayed until other things that they need are loaded. So I did that, and that's not even really worth demoing, because it's just something completely underneath the hood that prevents errors from happening. Okay, the other thing I did is I finished the subtitles, or I should say I finished getting them to a point where I think they're actually good subtitles, and people will be able to use them. Alright, so it's loading up here. I should have done a maximize, I forgot. It's loading. Alright, so new subtitle, it's got a dark background behind it. Okay, I do see one little bug that I think fixed pretty easy, where it's not centered, the background, but I think that's a big deal. The color coding on the subtitles is it's been simplified. So I used to say that every character gets their own color, like M gets red, and then God gets white, and Billy gets yellow, etc. It's not very scalable because you have all kinds of combinations of characters, and also people don't necessarily have the capacity to just kind of like think, well, if I see yellow, that means Billy. So I did something where there are alternating colors, but there's a primary character, a secondary character, and then other. If I have to go beyond two characters, there's a third color that's just for anything else. And by default, M will have the primary color, but levels can set the primary and secondary different ways. Secondary color gets set automatically if it's not set explicitly to whoever talks second in the level. And we'll prefix with the name of the character the first time that character speaks within a level. So, except for this one little bug, I can say I'm done with these subtitles, and I think I'm going to fix this bug at the start of the session. Then the next thing I have to figure out is something I'll probably have to do off stream, which is getting my builds to work now that they've gotten so large. So I have a Bitbucket account, and that Bitbucket account it has a Git repository. I commit everything to that Git repository, and then commit and push it to it. Then Unity Cloud Build is integrated with Bitbucket such that it'll know that I've just pushed something, and it'll go grab all that. It'll make a build, and it actually works pretty well, except that Bitbucket started complaining that I'm getting close to their maximum repository size of 2 gigabytes. I think I'm at like 1.8 or something like that. 1.8 gigabytes. The reason why I'm at that high number is just the assets that are in the repo. So it has to have all the binary assets, all the WAV files, all the scene files, those .unity files, which can be hundreds of megabytes. And it all adds up real fast. I don't have a large game here. It's not going to work well with that 2 gigabyte cap. So yesterday I implemented LFS with Bitbucket, which is their recommended solution. However, I don't think Unity Cloud Build is supporting LFS with Bitbucket. I mean, they will say they're technically supporting LFS, but I don't think they've figured out how to do it with Bitbucket in particular, although I'll double check on that today. So, alright, I'll fix this one bug with the subtitles. It might be pretty simple. Let's go to Paradise. Alright, so if I go and look at my subtitle pane here, feels like maybe there's an override somewhere that's causing trouble. Or the opposite, I could be missing an override. There's definitely some settings here that are not what I had on the other scene. Let me go to the other scene where I was fiddling with this and see if I've forgotten to put some overrides in the prefab. So for the uninitiated, each game object can have can be a prefab. Okay, a prefab is like a centralized version of that game object, and there's some settings that can go in the prefab, which is sort of like the good centralized place to put it, or they can be overrides that are in the scene. And sometimes I think I'm working on the prefab, which should affect all the levels, but it's actually just affecting the current level if I'm only working on the instance that's in the scene. Okay, let's see, what was that other scene though? It was a little arena. Okay, so here, I'm just going to go through all these and see if I've got any changes that are expected to. Yeah, modified component, apply to the prefab. Okay, modified component, apply to prefab. I don't need these. Yeah, I'm just checking for anything that might be in the scene that's not in the prefab. Apparently quite a few things. Alright. Alright, then I'm going to go check the prefab. Yeah, make sure there's no overrides in this particular area. So what? Come on. Let's see, I've got all this stuff that's different here, and I said revert, meaning don't have any overrides. Maybe I will just change it here and apply it. I just don't want anything to be different between these two. Okay. Okay, nothing should be different. that looks fine. Okay, so then we will save all that. Okay, we'll go back to the scene. Okay, now I want to know if the subtitles are still working as they did before. Takes a little while for it to start. Okay, I see centered subtitles, I see bold font, I see everything right. Cool. So then let's go over to Paradise and see if it's got the previous issues that I saw. Okay, now I see that the subtitles have got the background out here instead of in here, so that's signifies that the prefab was updated in a way that affected this scene. Okay, I'll hit play and I'll see how they do. So many changes to the subtitles. Okay, that's fixed. It's fixed. Okay, now I get to move on to the problem number 2. Okay. I want to see, since I already did so much work with Bitbucket, yeah, what do you have to say about LFS? Like, if I can get it working with Bitbucket, that would be ideal. Because except for this LFS stuff, it served me pretty well. I've got everything set up to use it. Okay. I don't know that I ever did this. There was some kind of magic that happened where I used like an OAuth flow, perhaps, where inside of Unity Cloud Build, I gave it permission for it to talk to Bitbucket, or kind of the opposite way. I gave Bitbucket the permission to have conversations with Unity Cloud Build and share information with it. I think maybe that did the same thing as what this describes, which is setting up the SSH key. Unless they use some other form of authentication. I did see somewhere else someone complaining that LFS wouldn't work with SSH and needed to use HTTPS. Let me take care of this. Yeah. I feel like I could write a regular expression that would do an okay job of blocking all of these messages, but everyone thinks that, but it's actually harder to do than you might imagine. But one thing you could do is see if the URL that you get passed in, you could run like a HTTP GET on it and see if it redirects to one of the known sites that host this crap. So your filter can see, oh, somebody posted a link. Let's do an HTTP GET on the link and follow any redirects, see if it resolves to one of the known locations that we don't want to have activity from. Okay. But then I think about it a little bit further. It could be that there could be some other problems with that approach. So, like, suppose there's a bot who wants anyways, I'm letting the bot cause me to think about it, and I don't want to think about it any further. So leave that up in case some more bots come up, and I'll send the signals off to Twitch to see if I can get them to modify their algorithms. Okay, get elf has support in cloud build, Unity block. Okay. Bitbucket. Okay, so that's another thing for me to check. I'll start writing down notes on this. I want to generate some leads, and then I will have to go offline because all this stuff will involve going to account pages with passwords and security problems. But for the moment, I'll do my research for how to get past this problem. All right. Okay. One idea. Manually put in SSH key. Switch to GitLab or GitHub. Say, look at LFS related settings in Unity Cloud Build. Cloud build. Bitbucket. LFS. I did actually mean that. I hate that this is in 2016. Okay, this person seems to have been able to do it. They just have some reliability issues. Is this Bitbucket? Yep. Okay, so it's possible. In 2017, it might not have been possible. This is 3 years ago. Way back in 2015. This looks like the wrong place. This is ancient history. This is still just way back. 17, 4 years ago. Yeah. Oh, I guess I can go to the next page, see if we get something better. Okay. So it seems like there could be multiple problems that cause it to not work. Look at build output in more detail. Get exact bugs. Google that. This is still 2016. Okay, FS not support over SSH when using read-only access key. Okay, so that might be it might be that my thing's configured to go over SSH, and I could fix it by setting up. I don't know. Okay, this looks very good. So I may have to do this. This I'll put near the top of my try list. Follow directions here. Okay. Alright, I gotta go off stream because all this stuff is me putting in passwords and going into different portal administration pages, and that's bad security wise. Also, it makes for a real boring stream. So I'm going to stop the stream here, but I'm going to keep working. I will be back tomorrow. Anybody that's hanging out, thanks for hanging out. Right. See you later. Stopping the stream.